if I had to say, is this series over? It's over, but I think the Rockets can go home and get them one. They'll win at home, and then they'll go back to Golden State, and that's when the series will be wrapped up. This team would have never had a shot without Şengün. But Şengün still struggles himself. He missed a lot of, Şengün probably could have scored 40 points last night. This team continues to miss free throws. They continue to miss layups. They continue to turn the ball over, which led to those big spurts that the Warriors were getting, forcing other guys to beat them, which they did beat them. Houston Rockets has been right there in this series, man. Right there. Just not enough to get over the hump. And what do you credit it to? Experience, of course. Would it be a story if they can get this to Game 7? It would be a story. Highly unlikely. Win at home. Give your crowd a little something to leave with for the season. Get back to Golden State. Put up a good fight. And see what happens. No one will be expecting you to win that game at all. They're looking for the Warriors to wrap it up back at home. So yeah, it was a tough loss. Very tough loss last night. So let's get into Ime Udoka. We won't keep it long. We won't see what he has to say. We'll scan through it. We might listen to all of Ime Udoka's, but Steve Kerr and the rest of the players, we might scan through it a little bit on this terrible Tuesday. Before I started, shout out to the Heat. At least fighting to get into the playoffs. No one expects you to beat the Cavs. A lot has to be turned over at the end of this season. A lot of changes going to have to be made for the Miami Heat. You want to talk about a beat down. Back of the shed with the door off the hinges where everybody can see it. That's how bad the Miami Heat got beat. Tough playoffs. Enjoying it nevertheless, but it's tough. Heat are out. Rockets on the brink. I love to see Detroit pull it off tonight. Send those prayers out to Damian Lillard. Sad song by him this season. All he want to do is play. So prayers for him and his mental just going through this little stretch with the blood clot, and now his Achilles is torn and he's out indefinitely. And possibly part of the next season. So they have to figure that out with the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, is he going to stay or he's going to go? Miami Heat, they need to look deep into that. Kevin Durant, still going to be on the table with the Jalen Green situation. I would have loved for Jalen Green to stick around if he can produce and if he had a great showing into the playoffs. But we're not going to kid ourselves. This is Jalen Green's fourth year. Still inconsistent, still up and down, still turning over the ball, still having terrible shooting nights. And out of a handful of games, he might pick one that he just shoots outstanding and go for 38 to 40 points. But is that good enough? Even with Alperen Şengün, is he going to get better? He's got to continue to grow. Where he's at now is decent, but it's not good enough to compete for a championship. It's like he drives the bus in front of the school, but he don't let the kids out. That's what it feels like. He don't let the kids out. He'll get you there, but it seems like he forgets how to open a door. Missed shot, turnover, travel, offensive foul, what have you, man. It's just a whole bunch of things that pile up with this team going down the stretch. They just can't finish the deal against great teams. Learning experience? Yes, it will be a learning experience. No doubt. It will be a learning experience. But how much time can they wait, the Houston Rockets? How much time? Look, man, I'm going to just hope they can pull it off at home, which I believe they will. Get it back to Golden State. Throw your hands up in the air and see what happens. That's the situation they're in right now. Let's check out and see what Emi Udoka has to say.
Had no answer for Alpi for a laugh. What did you think of the execution on that final play after the timeout with him missing the shot against Draymond?
It was okay. I think Draymond shot the gap and kind of denied the catch. Tried to get a switch with Peyton, so we didn't get a great screen and kept the matchup, but got a decent look, but we got to screen better to get Alpi open at the spot we want him at.
How do you think that fared, and especially compared to the starting lineup, which seemed to have a rough start to both halves?
Yeah, they were great. They kept us in the game. Obviously, the start of the third quarter, 18-1 run, and just gave everything back that we did before the halftime. And to be up 7 and go down 10 that quickly.
What I have to say about this Houston Rockets defense, deciding to zone, but chase Curry all over the floor. Everybody else is zoned up besides him. Jumping the screens, bodying him up. That worked. It worked. Shadowing him, not allowing him to catch the ball or even have a clean shot. That was outstanding by Emi Udoka. Because just like the broadcast said, there's zoning. Usually zoning, especially with a shooter like Curry, you don't want to zone. They'll shoot you completely out of it. But everybody was zoned except for Stephen Curry. It was like he the only one that was manned up. With guys on the back end paying attention where he's at. If they got to jump out, they'll jump out, get back. So this defense was on target. They were completely on target. It's just unfortunate. That's why I say, man, you work so hard in this game, if you're the Houston Rockets, to beat yourself, to miss 12 free throws, not to give yourself a chance to win it. Turn over the ball in a flurry to where you turn it over like 4 or 5 times on different possessions and they run out, hitting threes, making layups.
With some of them, I mean, the missed shots or whatever, nobody tries to miss shots, but the non-help off of certain guys, leaving shooters and then just not rebounding. They beat us in the offensive glass, second chance points. So not a great start there. Double big was the reason we stayed in the game. Yeah, like I said, get some separation with the screens, but you have to come off and be aggressive. And tonight was a little more free than last game. And you just have to make the right plays. And not his best night offensively, obviously, but you can't let that affect your all-around game. Still make the right play, make the right read, let guys be recipient, but you still have to guard at a high level and not get discouraged by off night offensively.
Alperin had obviously his best stretch with Draymond out of the game. Do you feel you have any route to efficient offense when Draymond is in the game, and what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, we got some looks and used his aggression against them and got him in foul trouble there.
Another thing, this Draymond Green situation. You mean to tell me a guy that got a technical foul early in this ball game got in a scrum with Tari Eason, basically put his feet on top. I'm not even going to go with the feet on top of his shoulder, whatever. Yeah, maybe you could have called it then. But the pull on the jersey, to pull him down, everything that had to do with that sequence, whether you go double tech, a single tech on Draymond Green, the man should have been gone. The refs, I don't know the league. I don't really want to put it on them. But, hey, man, in this ball game, did somebody make a phone call down? Because they protected him by giving him a flagrant foul on that situation just to keep him in the game. It's a shame. It really is. Uh, and another thing with Alperen Sengun as well. They're afraid of Draymond Green. I think I mentioned this before. Well, I mean, I don't know what the deal is. To beat a bully, you got to go through him. I've seen Alperen Sengun play very physical, bodying up people before Draymond Green got into the game. Going to the hole, making layups. Once Draymond Green got in the game, what did Alperen Sengun do? He went to jump shots, shooting farther from the basket because he's afraid of contact with Draymond Green and his antics. Alperen Sengun, you can't do that. You got to go right at him. If something happens, y'all get into a scrum or altercation, you got to go toe-to-toe with him. You know he's got a technical foul already. Try to get it on him. Also, he's in foul trouble. Draymond Green shouldn't even been out there on that floor. Let's just throw away him picking up the second tech. But the guy was playing with 5 fouls, man. All you have to do is be aggressive. Go at him. He's going to foul you. Put it on the refs to make the call. But Alperen Sengun, don't let one guy take you out of your game. Continue to be physical. That last shot, we'll get to that in a minute, but that last shot, you was too far from the basket. You banged a little bit and you just turn around and you let it fly. You didn't get low as you should have gotten. And yes, Draymond Green has outstanding defense. Maybe you should have spun off of him, but you did those two like bangs, and then you just turned around and shot it, which you're a little further out than you should have been to make that shot, but you let him off the hook. Don't let Draymond Green bully you. And refs should have been out the game. This whole thing about Draymond Green giving him this long leash, it's for the birds, man. For the birds. Got to straighten it up.
He's kind of roaming all over the place, and so make the right read, you'll get open looks off him, and so I think Alpi was going well regardless. The plan was to go attack Green, and I think he did that. Had some success there, and missed some easy shots early, but settled in there. And so just continue to be aggressive there, and doesn't matter who's on Alperen. We feel like we have an advantage every night.
And you do.
Coach, can you talk about just what the locker room was like after the game, such a tough loss, and what's the mentality you guys have to try to keep this series alive?
Yeah, a little bit upset, of course. It feels like the games we've lost, we really hurt ourselves in a lot of ways. We get a late foul on a 3. Obviously, that stands out, but it's not just a play late in the game. It's all the things that add up to it. First half, fouling guys in the bonus, and those things all, it's hard to outplay those mistakes, the amount that we're making. And so, let alone the third quarter when we come out, undisciplined like that. And so, guys are down, but they understand that the game we played well. The one game out of the 4, we had a blowout win. In other games, it's been a one-possession game a lot of times, or we had a fourth quarter lead and haven't really played that well. And so consistency wins in the series. We've talked about that from day one, and we have to be way more consistent across the board. And so the plan is to obviously go home, get one, and come back.
Coach, this second game in a row that you all have shot bad from the free throw line. What seems to be the mentality on the free throw shooting?
Can't tell you what the mentality is. I think you go up there to make them, but obviously missing. I think we missed 12 tonight. It's not good enough in a one-possession game. So it takes it back to the game.
I could say this. Are y'all spending 2, 3 hours, 4 hours on shooting free throws in practice? I don't know. Are they? Or they just rolling the ball out in these playoff games and just say, well, it might get better. We shot them bad last game. This game, they might drop. Or are we actually working on them? Look, I wasn't an outstanding free throw shooter when I played myself. I understand. But that was a little different back then. I wasn't doing it for a living. Now you're doing it for a living. You should be working on these free throws constantly, especially if you shoot bad as a team from the stripe. I'm just saying, are we working on them? Or are we just hoping they get better?
Game one, when we shot poorly from free throw, and if you're going to make some of the mistakes it'd be good to cash those in and obviously give us a little margin for error.
And what would be the message to this young team going back to Houston down 3-1?
Go get a win. Let's play a sound, disciplined game. Full game, and not have these lulls that we've had that allowed us to lose a lead or them get a big lead and we have to fight our way back. It's all good, fighting your way back and showing that heart, but you want to do the disciplined things to stay up when you get the lead or not let them go on runs like that. And so you have to be much more consistent, which was a big mantra coming into the series.
Coach, what was the calculation in taking Steven Adams out when they went to the hack in the fourth quarter?
That they got us into the bonus by taking the fouls and get him out and bring him back in when it's under 2 minutes. So they can't be as aggressive defensively. They built up the fouls and Alpern was rolling. Some guys were playing well. I'm in obviously there, and so wanted to go with that lineup, take Steven out and get him back when it's under 2 minutes.
Now that you are facing elimination, do you give any more serious consideration to changing the starting five?
Yeah, we'll take a look at everything. Obviously, certain lineups have been much better at times, and
I have a lineup change for him. Jabari Smith should be in the starting lineup right now as of this series, this playoff moment. He's been the only consistent guy to put the ball in the hole. I don't know who you're going to take out of the starting lineup, but I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't thought about that part yet, but Jabari Smith, either he needs to get more minutes or he needs to be in the starting lineup. This guy is a knockdown shooter, and he's been dropping big shots, corner threes, on top of the key, 12-footer, 15-foot turnarounds, driving pull-up action. This team is lacking scoring. Because when I was watching that game, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It might be time for Jabari Smith to get in the starting lineup. I believe Ime Udoka's thinking the same thing. I'm just trying to think, who should he put on that bench? You know what I'm going to do? I'm putting Amen Thompson back on the bench in this series. I'm going to tell you why. Look, this no knock on Amen Thompson. He's still going to get his minutes, might even finish the fourth quarter. You need jump shooting and shot making in this series. Amen Thompson, most of his action is going to the basket. He has to hit his layups. He misses a lot of his layups, but he can finish strong as well. Occasionally, he can hit that 10 to 12 footer. Occasionally. But it's no guarantee. Put Jabari Smith in for scoring, and Jabari Smith still can play defense as well. All you getting is straight defense with Amen Thompson. The only problem there, and I know what everybody's thinking, who's going to guard Curry? They're guarding Curry by committee anyway. By committee. I'm going to put Dylan Brooks on Curry for the time being. Just going to be most of the first quarter, not all. Amen Thompson going to be getting checked into the game. It's not like we're not playing him at all, especially at home. I'm putting Dylan Brooks. They might go back to their zone. That's even better. Have Dylan Brooks shadowing him, following him all around the floor with jump outs on screens, forcing the ball out of his hands. Jabari Smith on Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I'm rolling with that. But no question, Jabari Smith needs to get a lot more minutes, and I say put him in the starting lineup to give yourself a good running start and try to get up on this team. You need a 10, 12-point lead on this team and go from there. Not like when you was at home before, getting out to a big burst and then fizzle out in the end. No, hold on to it this time.